What's good? What's good? What's good? The refill. What's good, people out there? It's the refill. I'm your host, Ron Daniel. Listen, today we got another great show. If y'all been following what we've been doing for about the last 2 months, y'all already know what the show all about. If you don't know, y'all, what I want to let you know is this show is about gospel rap everything. We highlight the producers, we highlight the artists, we highlight the DJs, we highlight the influencers. And tonight, we got another great show, another great guest, another great artist, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. Before we bring them on, I like to call him Mr. Highway to Heaven. And for y'all know that's been watching the show, know I keep my eyes and ears to everything. And this one of the cats who I think get it. I'm not saying all the artists that we've ever had on the show don't get it. They get it. But this is one of the cats that get it. They understand it. I hear it in the music. I follow him on his social media. And we're going to get into it tonight. I'm going to bring y'all, let me click this thing on right here. We're going to bring them on all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. We got FRO on the line. What's good, FRO?
What up? You all right?
Yes, sir. I was telling everybody, man, on this episode, we got another great artist. Everybody in gospel rap, I tell people this all the time, and I learned this from reading the Bible. I'm sure you probably, when I say this, you probably gonna say, okay, I'm familiar with what he's talking about. You remember when the Bible say everybody was working for that one penny, and they said, wait a minute, Lord, this joker that came on late in the game, and he's still trying to get what we get into. He said, yeah, everybody working for that one penny. And that's how I feel about gospel rap. Everybody, to me, is on the same playing field, same thing, get the same intro, same response, because that's just how I feel about gospel rap, because it's different from what these boys doing out here in the street. So,
yeah,
what I told everybody, I said, I like to think of it as Mr. Highway to Heaven. I remember when I first met you years ago, you probably don't remember, years ago, it was I want to say it was called the Thugs Conference, I think, in Memphis. I can't remember which pastor was doing it, but it was called the Thugs Revival. Thug Revival, that's what it was. And you shooting out, Plaster Floyd, that's what it is. You passing out CDs. I said, man, who this dude give me another CD? I got another CD. So I didn't even bump it until maybe 2 weeks later. We headed to Atlanta. We going to Atlanta to some show. Did some show out there. And you know how you ride and bump and you just grab CDs and put them in just to take up for that time, that long 8-hour trip from my house.
Yeah.
I put in that, I can't remember which mixtape it was. It was the one with the Good Times theme all the way through, the Good Times. And I said, yeah. Yes, sir. And I said, yeah. He gonna be around for a minute. And I bumped that thing up. I bumped it back. Man, introduce yourself to everybody, man, that's looking at this thing, man.
Man, this your boy FRO, man. I don't want to toot my horn and call myself no pioneer, none of that, but I just been one of the ones that's been working hard for the kingdom. You know what I mean? Like, man, just putting everything on the line for it, man, pushing hard. You know what I mean? Pushing stupid hard. You know what I mean? So, man, just a vessel. You know what I mean? Being obedient to my calling. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, let's take this all the way back to when you first started. Listen, I didn't listen to your music. People that's looking at this, they probably haven't. But I didn't heard a whole lot of your music, man. So I know, I get the gist of the story. You talk about it a lot. But take us all the way back to when you first got involved with gospel rap. And what was it that we know God, but what was it that grabbed your attention and say, hey, I better do this and do it the right way?
So for me, man, my relationship, you know what I mean, with him is what really grabbed my attention. You know what I mean? I said this before, you know what I mean? I never saw gospel rap.
Right.
So I never knew what it looked like to be a gospel rapper. Like how the newer cats now, they can look at you, they can look at me, they can pull up, you know, YouTube videos and, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and they can inspire to be there. So for me, I didn't know what it looked like. You know what I mean? In 2008, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't no YouTube. If it was, it wasn't popping. Right, you know what I mean? So it wasn't nothing that I could see. Only person I knew that was doing gospel rap was Mr. Dale. And that's only because I heard on the radio when he transitioned from 3-6 Mafia to doing gospel rap, I heard them talk about it on the radio. Right. So I never heard any of his music. You know what I mean? So I never heard any of the gospel rap music. So only thing I heard was that Mr. Dale had converted to doing gospel rap. And I'm like, what is gospel rap? You know what I mean? Right. So for me, and that was 10 years before, basically almost, that was 10 years before I dropped anything. Right. So me, man, I heard him on the radio probably like in 98, and he was transitioning to doing gospel rap, 98 or 99. Because I remember I was in high school, so I remember driving to school and actually hearing them talk about his transition. So for me, man, from the jump, it really was being obedient with God telling me to go to the streets where I used to be hanging out at and how I used to be, you know, in the streets hustling and you know, just grinding. He actually had me go back and do the exact same thing, but do it for the kingdom. So when I go all the way back, you know what I mean, I was out the trunk for, man, almost, you know, 3 years before anybody brought me to their church to rap. Right. You feel me? So it ain't like a lot of the cats, they drop a song and, you know what I'm saying, they drop a project, you know what I mean, they looking for somewhere to go get on the microphone. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, so they looking for somebody who's gonna let them come rap. Right. So for me, man, I was, you know, when I dropped, I was out the trunk. You feel me? Like, man, I was out the trunk with it. So, man, I'm rapping in the streets. You know what I mean? Folks like, man, you bumping? Man, let me hear you. You know what I'm saying? Bump something. So, man, I'm doing my shows on the corner. You feel me? Right. So, you know, it wasn't no, you know, I'm doing youth explosions and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I say, I didn't get that till almost 3 years later. So, yeah, man, my grind was a different kind of grind. You know what I mean? It wasn't, you know, it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You saying it wasn't to 10 years later to use like, okay, let me. What was it that made you say, you know what, I'm finna jump into gospel rap? You see what I'm saying? What was that thing to say, okay, the Lord, okay, I'm gonna say this. For me, it was actually coming back from Memphis, from Tunica. And the next day, the Lord, he got a hold of me and he said, hey, you better stop doing what you're doing. But it wasn't for another 3 years later before he said, do anything gospel rap. I was like, I don't know what a gospel rap is. I don't know nothing about gospel rap. I don't know who the rappers are, where they are. I ain't going to nobody's church, don't know what's happening. So, you know, that's my thing. How did you get into gospel rap?
So man, before I came over to Christ, right, you know, I would be in the just hustling, you know what I mean? So even, you know, I dealt with the secular arena in rap, you know what I mean? I did that as well. So when I got saved, man, God came into my living room, man, and man, changed my life, you know what I mean? He just telling me how he wasn't pleased with the things that, you know what I'm saying, I was doing. And you know, man, I just was always left field. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and so when I got saved, I sat for a whole year. And so really, to be honest with you, I'm you know, I'm in a motion of, you know, wanting to get a job. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the music is over with. You know what I mean? Like, it's done, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be on the microphone cussing no more and talking about stuff. You know, that's over with, you know what I'm saying? And so, man, he came back to me and said, I want you to rap for me. Right. And so I'm like, dang, rap. I'm like, man, that's gonna be corny to rap for God. You feel me? That's how I felt. I felt like the streets don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? The streets The streets ain't trying to hear, man, you talk about the Lord. They want to hear about some swanging and some gals and some, you know, get money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I decided to, and this how it really was. When I dropped Highway to Heaven, my homie Webb would tell you, I went into the studio. I already had everything written, but I went to the studio and dropped it in one day, the whole project. I started at like 7 in the morning. By 7 o'clock that night, I was done with it. So that was me showing God, okay, I did it. And I gave you what you wanted. Let's move on. You feel me?
Let's move on.
So that was literally me just kind of like, let me be obedient and let me just do what you want me to do and let me move on.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I wasn't planning on saying 13 years later, man, I'm a gospel rapper, man. I've been doing this for a living for 13 years. Like that was never my plan.
Right.
You know what I mean? I dropped the project just to be obedient because I felt him telling me to do it. So when I did it, my homie will tell you, he said, man, I need you to go to the streets. And I'm like, what? Like, go to the streets? Like, go out there and pop your trunk. What you was doing for the devil, I need you to do for me. Right, and so I'm sitting like, whoa. So now, you know, if, you know, I didn't drop the project, so I'm going to be obedient. Man, I jumped out there with it, man. And man, the response was totally different. Like, you know, I had some people that was like, man, gospel, you a gospel. What is that, FRO? Like, what you doing? You know what I mean? Right. But I had some people that was like, man, give me one. How much you want? $5? Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. So I had some people who was with it. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to support, you know, and some people were like, nah, I'm good on that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, I started investing my money into the gospel rap bars. What I mean, I shrink wrap my cutlass.
Right,
so I had
right.
Had the cutlass on 23. I shrink wrapped it. Man, I went all the way in. I jumped all the way into the deep water. You know what I mean? And so it was like, man, I'm finna go out here every day and man, just watch God do whatever he gonna do. And not only did I watch God use me to bless other people, I watched him take care of me financially as well. Yes, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he did it.
I tell you what, man, I remember when I first saw the the cutlass wrapped up. I started laughing. I said, this dude get it. You know, because I tell cats all the time, I say, you know, I think some years ago in gospel rap, cats was like, they don't think about the business side. They don't think about the marketing side. They don't think about, okay, how can I push a product? And you out here rapping a whole cutlass up. What year is that cutlass, bro?
That was an 86.
Yeah, I about to say like an 85. I said, so you rapping a whole cutlass up. I had an 84 cutlass. And so you rapping a whole cutlass up right around Memphis. I'm like, say, man, this dude right here get it, man. You know, cause I tell cats, hey, rap your vehicles, man. Push it hard, just like these boys in the street pushing. They be like, no, man, I'm just gonna do it for free. I'm like, no. And another thing you mentioned too, how you said God was sending money your way, and he was actually taking care of you on the financial side. I think that's a big old myth in gospel rap too, where artists are like, you know, I'm good with rapping for free, and if I sell a couple of CDs, I'm good. But they really riding home frustrated on that long 4-5 hour ride home. I drove 4-5 hours, and now riding back, I only sold 2 CDs. I'm like, just tell the truth. You want God to take care of you financially, you know. So talk about that business side a little bit, because it's, you know, for cats that's watching the show and they don't have an understanding of, hey, the Lord really wants you to prosper in gospel rap. You just gotta believe it and let him do his thing. Talk about that business side a little bit.
Yeah, man, I think different people though got different lanes.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think everybody is meant to do it full time.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
And then there's some of us that's in a lane of, man, I don't want to charge. I work a 9 to 5 and I don't charge.
Right.
And that's cool. And you got some cats that's out here that want to eat, but then they want to try to use that thing of, man, if you're doing it for the Lord, bro, you should do it for free. But then they ride back home upset.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's about, man, you being able to say which lane you in.
Right.
So because if you in the lane of, man, I'm trying to provide for my folks, not only am I trying to push the gospel, I'm trying to provide for my folks, then man, you got to put in a different kind of grind as well.
Yes, sir.
So I think some cats, man, they don't realize too that they really want their weekend glory, but then they don't put in the work to be able to receive the weekend situation. You feel me? And so, man, a lot of times, man, that's why they arrive back frustrated, man. On the business side, for me, I'm gonna be 100 with you.
Go ahead.
My situation was never a planned business move.
Right.
It was a Abraham day-to-day walk. So I knew I had to take care of my wife and my kids. I couldn't be doing gospel rapping. We living in a mission. Right. So for me, I wasn't going to the church with my hand out. You understand where I'm coming from? I was going into the streets and I was selling a product that dealt with my Lord and Savior as well. You understand what I'm calling, which was my gift. And my gift was rapping. But I rapped about the Lord. So for me and my product, me taking money and investing into making the beats and getting engineering, getting it mastered on a business aspect, I knew I had to get my money back as well.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So I went out day to day on, Lord, today, if you see fit, I need to make $150. You understand where I'm coming from? I need to make $100. Lord, I'm not worried about tomorrow. I'm only worried about today.
Right.
You understand where I'm coming from? And so I watched God, man, as I would go out, man, people would see my, like, bro, I done invested $2,000 in shrink wrap in my car.
Yes,
so I got people that pull over at the gas station or at the shopping centers and say, bro, what you do? See, that's what a lot of cats fail to realize. Like, they won't take their own money and invest it in a situation. So for me, I took my money, I invested it. So now I'm able to, I had a food truck way before food trucks was food trucks.
Go ahead.
You see what I'm saying? So the same thing everybody doing now with a food truck, I was doing with my cutlass.
Yeah.
I pick a parking lot. I got a cutlass sitting there on 23-inch rims. Back then, that was a big thing. Yeah. So I'm sitting here in a parking lot with my face on my car. People pulling over like, what you do? Who are you?
Right.
So now I'm in Batesville, Mississippi, Grenada, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock, Arkansas, Fire City, Arkansas, Nashville. People pulling over saying, what you do? Yes, so now I'm able to not only tell them what I do, but then I'm able to share the gospel as well.
Right.
You understand where I'm coming from? So it was a day-to-day move for me. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I had this big old plan written out, and it wasn't that, man. I literally was day-to-day just watching God provide, and that's something that, you know, a lot of people ain't built for.
Right,
you see what I'm saying? So a lot of people ain't built for that type of life. See, now I come from the hustle, you know, and it's the thing for me. It's the thing that get me sometime with some Christian rappers who talk about their past and how they was in the streets and this and that.
Go ahead.
But when you come over here, they scatter the streets.
Go ahead, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
sir. Like in your music, you was the king dope boy, the king hustler.
Right.
In your, but then you come over here and you like louse.
Right.
You understand? So for me, I sit back and be like, some of y'all flogging.
Go ahead.
You feel me? Some of y'all ain't telling the truth. You feel me? So
go ahead.
So I'm cut from that hustle world. So even when I came over here, that didn't stop my grind. That didn't stop my risk taking. Man, back in the streets, man, if I was gonna get a pound of weed and it was my last $800, man, bro, I put my last $800 up.
Yes, Lord.
You feel? And I'm finna get to it.
Yeah.
And so I was risk taking over there. Why wouldn't I be risk taking over here? Right. You feel me?
Right.
And so on the business aspect of things, the business aspect thing for me was, man, I know I got to make sure my family good. And so, man, I literally got out, pop in the trunk. Not only that, man, people want me to pray for them, brother. Like, I'm talking about conversations I would have with people in the streets of just, man, people out there hurting.
Right.
You feel? Like, and so when you talk about Highway, see you got to be from the beginning to know about Highway to Heaven. Because see, a lot of people think Cornerstone was my first album.
Go ahead.
No, Cornerstone is the album that kind of like got me into more of the Christian rap world. Right, you know what I'm saying? But Highway to Heaven was really my street. I was in the street world with that one. Right, but I'm grateful for Highway to Heaven, because Highway to Heaven is what I was able to touch a lot of people who even was in the church. A lot of youth pastors and things like that. It'd be like, man, these young men out here grinding, man, we got to get them to the church. Even though it took 3 years later, but eventually, and when the harvest came, then folks would be like, man, FRO got a show every week. He doing 2, 3 a week.
Right.
You see where I'm coming from? And so, you know, because I was sowing so many seeds, man, for 3 years. So when 2010 really hit somewhere around there, man, that thing was gone. I'm doing 2, 3 a week.
Right.
And folks out, they trying to figure out, you don't work? Like, nah. Like, bro, how you doing that? My cats don't realize for 3 years, man, I was in the trenches.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look here, Mike. Man, I'm over here listening to this, man, and I'm like, let me say this, man. For anybody looking at this, I hope y'all understood. Look, English wasn't my thing, but I hope y'all understand everything he giving y'all the game. Y'all getting the game. A lot of gospel rap artists say, well, what can I do? How can I do it? And they forget about the work part. They forget about the grind part. They forget about the work. And I don't even want to get into my past. So I tell people all the time, I said, my past, it's like God sanctified it and got me doing the same exact thing for him on his side that I was trying to do out there in them streets. So I said, well, how is it that you doing what you? I said, man, it's the same thing. I said, he just said, look, let me tell you this, bro. And I got to share this with you, and I got to share this with everybody. At one time, I'm going to say pre-Christ, my goals wasn't to go to school. It wasn't to, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a pediatrician. With them some good jobs. If y'all got them jobs, that's cool. Mine was to host the biggest Pimps and Players convention at Murray Park in the city. All the cars, all the women, sponsored by whatever the hottest drink was, liquor was. That was my goal. And the Lord said, no, I'm going to get you sanctified. You're coming back from Memphis, Tunica. And now you do it for me. That's when we did the Lifeline. We did the Lifeline Gospel Rap Conference. And so I'm here with you. I'm over here laughing because I'm like, you giving the game out for free. And for cats who trying to figure out, well, what do I need to do? Rewind this video and just listen. You get in the game. He in the street for real. You know, you got to be out there in the streets. I tell a story all the time how when we put music out, we go hood to hood, dropping them off in places folks don't normally go. And they looking, they sitting in them 442s looking like, what you reaching in my car for? They reaching and I'm giving out and they reaching at the same time. They reaching for something else though. They're like, say, man, hey, now I'm like, just bump it if you like it, man. Fool with me. Look on the cover, donate to the PayPal, donate to the Cash App, and we gone. And they may do and they may not. But, bro, you hitting on it, man, that a lot of cats, I hear it in the music, too. They talk about their past life, and then they get on this side, and they like, okay, I don't know what to do now. And you just gave them a whole 5-10 minutes of number of class and session one-on-one on how to operate in the gospel rap space if they doing it full time. Now, let me ask you this, bro. A lot of cats that I've met over the years, they would come to my office and say, hey, you know, I'm doing full-time gospel rap. They say, I see you doing it full-time. I'm going to do it full-time. I say, well, you got to be, like you said, you got to be cut out for that. This ain't no, you don't get, like you said, you don't have, it's not a plan. It's not a, I wrote this down, I'm going to show God what I'm going to do for him. He's like, no, Joker. Take that last $500, go buy you some speakers. Or go take this and go buy you a microphone. And you look at God, well, Lord, this all I get. And he like, just do it anyway. And so talk about these cats, not talk about them, but talk to the point of how cats, they want to do the full-time grind, but they trying to figure out how to get into it. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense. They say, hey, I'm working this job, but I really want to do gospel rap full time and do that as an occupation without calling it an occupation, if that makes sense. But I say, okay, this is my job. But talk about that just a little bit, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the first thing is to get on your face and make sure God has called you to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like that's number one. Like, man, he ain't called you to do it. Man, it's gonna be a disaster. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, that's not what he called you to do. But because everybody ain't, man, this Christian rap, gospel rap, whatever you want to call it, is the hardest genre of music to do.
Man, you need to say that.
The church undervalue it, and the clubs don't want it.
Right.
So when we talk about financial, the aspect of the game, you in between, and it's a very hard road, especially when we talk about the black church. Let me take that back.
Go ahead, man.
The black church, you got two different churches. People get upset.
Talk about it, man. I know where you're going. Talk about it.
You got a white church, you got a black church. You know what I'm saying? The white church, they do understand it a little bit better, because kids listen to rap. So they say, well, man, since our kids listen to rap, we're gonna bring in Lecrae and pay him $20,000. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The black church, sometimes we still think our kids just clapping, and that's all they doing. But they going back home listening to Gotti and listening to Boosie, but they thinking they just doing all this worship.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I said that to say, gospel rap, Christian rap, whatever you want to call it, is the hardest genre of music to do. So you got to make sure that you in the will of God when you talking about you finna do this full time.
Yes, sir.
You understand where I'm coming from? So I mean that is number one. Once God is confirmed to you that this is what I want you to do, and it's, man, I'm talking about, man, when I travel the country, man, and I meet gospel rappers who got a way bigger name than me, and they tell that they trying to go full time, and I'm thinking like, bro, you got 10,000, 20,000 followers. I thought you were full time. They like, nah, bro, I work at this. I'm a social worker. I do this and that. And I'm like, oh wow. But they trying to ask me, how do you become a full-time gospel rapper? They make thinking like, bruh, that's crazy. But I will say it's a sacrifice and it's hard work.
Yes, sir.
Like like I said, man, I was 3 years out the trunk every day, rain, sleet, snow.
Man.
You understand me? Like,
yes,
it wasn't, man, on the weekends because it's a Saturday and it's pretty outside.
Yes, sir.
I'm out there on the grind. Nah, bro, I'm out in dead winter like today. You understand what I'm saying? Because every day is counting. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of cats wanted to kind of drop out the sky. And for some cats, you might look up and be the 1% that mess around and get hooked up with a Lecrae and he vouched for you. And next thing you know, things might happen for you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking to that dude who, man, you got to put the work in. And majority of it, you got to put the work in.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Cats who in these vouchers, man, they ain't doing what they say they doing. They might have pictures when they doing these shows with these smoke and all these lights, and it look like they getting it, but man, that's probably the only show they got for the past whole month, and they taking them pictures and they just recycling them same pictures over again on Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
Yet you thinking that's all the shows they doing, but to actually build something, man, you got to put your work in.
Yes,
like sir. You're going to have to put your work in. And so, man, like I say, for me, man, people ask me all the time, like, Fro, even right now, like, I'm 13 years in, man, my wife don't work. Man, we got a real house, real cars. Man, you come to my house, man, my folks be like, bro, how the heck, how you doing that? But I tell people all the time, man, when you really build something, man, if you can get 25 to 30 solid supporters, what I mean by that, men of God, women of God,
yes, sir.
who gonna bring you to their event, bring you to their church every year, you all right. You understand where I'm coming from? And that's why I tell people all the time, man, my 3,000 followers on Instagram, man, them junks is real. Yes, and so sir. What I mean by that is my 3,000 followers on Instagram, I outwork somebody who got 20,000 paid followers.
Fro, hold up. You didn't buy no followers, man.
You feel me? So those that's buying followers,
Right.
you trying to figure out when you drop an album why you ain't selling nothing.
Yes, sir.
Because everybody fake.
Yes, sir.
And so what you want to do, you want to have real numbers. You want to have real supporters. So, man, when I drop a project or when I do something or when I have something, man, real people support.
Yes, sir.
Real people support. So now you're trying to figure out how he been doing this for something. Because I got real people. It's real grind. It's real people who fool with me.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't all just social media in the inbox. Man, listen to my now, man. I'm touching hands. People know I'm a real person. They see me in the streets. They see me in Memphis riding around in my cars, my Cutlass, my Crossfire, whatever I'm in, and people blow the horn. Burn, what's up, FRO? Like, they know me.
Right,
you know what
I'm saying? Right.
So, man, got the new project coming out. Man, I put the little snippet up of the Street Preacher 3. Man, I couldn't tell you how many people in my box like, brother,
yes,
man, I need a hard copy ASAP, bro. When you getting up with me, man. You feel me? Like, so, man, we talk about, but then, like I say, some cats will look at my numbers and be like, man, that man only got 3,000 on Instagram and 5,000 on his fan page and 4,000 on his other Facebook. Man, he ain't really doing like this dude over here. He got 20,000. But, man, that dude there, man, his followers ain't going to outwork my 3,000. I guarantee.
Go ahead.
That's how I'm able to continue to pay my bills and take care of my family because my people real.
Yes, sir.
You see, they ain't just no bandwagoners who you end up sharing. They jumped on the bandwagon. Nah, these people know me from just grinding. You feel me? So, man, I would tell an artist or somebody who's trying to do it, man, you got to put your work in, man. It's if you want longevity, man, you gotta put your work in, man.
Yes, sir.
Like, you gotta put your work in, man. Like, I can't give you anything a shortcut, man. You gotta put your work in. And people that say right now, they'll say, bro, the CD guy ain't done. So, FRO, how will I get in the streets if the CD guy ain't done? Man, I'm gonna give you some game. Press up some flyers with your Facebook, your SoundCloud, your whatever, your streaming. And, man, you get out there, man, and you pass them out and just introduce yourself to people.
Yes, sir.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes,
so
sir.
It's not about just trying to sell something, but, man, you can get on your feet and, man, get out here and just, even though we know the COVID-19 is, but it's like whoever take a flyer, man, what's up with you, man? I'm such and such, bro. I just want to give you a flyer, man, so you can check out my music if you will. And, man, regardless if they throw it on the ground, they put it in their pocket, whatever they do, man, that person will sit back and be like, my dude, grinding, bro. Then they see you again next week at the same gas station or the same corner store. They like, okay, let me check this dude out. And that's how you build the foundation of your situation. So now that same person, now he done followed you on Instagram, he done check your music out, like, oh, man, dude, dope, bro. Not every time you drop, he in your inbox, or he like, bro, I need one. Where you at? Man, I check your new music out. That John dope. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, it's gonna take work.
Yes, sir.
Man, I've been in the game too long. I done seen so many cats, man, fall by the wayside.
Yes,
man,
sir.
Bro. Like, I done seen too many that I don't even know where they at. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some of them, man, just didn't weather the storm, and some of them just weren't called to keep going. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Some cats who just want called to keep going, that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They had a season. They had a season, and the season over with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. You know what I mean? So, go ahead.
Bro, you hit on the head, man. Look here, and for those who listening right now, that's called holy hustling. See, you get, FRO, you done said about 50, 11 times, you gotta work. 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 And cats don't want to work. They say, hey, I got the faith. I can put the music together, but then you gotta work. The Bible say faith without works is dead. And the moment we hear that in the churches, the first thing we want to do is run around the church and say it again, pastor, and go jump over the pew and be like, no, sit down and listen to what he's saying. Yeah. He's saying faith without your works is dead. So you can have all the faith in the world as gospel rappers looking at this, but if you ain't got that work ethic, you ain't got that grind, you ain't got that holy hustle, you gonna fall to the side somewhere. I done seen too many cats come in hot and leave out cold. Too many. I done seen too many cats. I done been in the rooms. I done traveled all across the country. Been in the rooms, dog. Well, cat get on stage and I'm talking about the whole room shaking, and you got goosebumps on your own. Like, man, that song's so ready, and you don't know what they doing now. And so you hit it on the head, man. And look at, I done reached out to a few of them. They ain't respond back. I hope they do one day. But I reached out just to see, hey, what's happening? You know, just to see where they head at. But you hit it on the head, man, when you say it's about that work. It's about that grind. And I'm glad you hit on. I was about to ask you next about the CD and the streaming game, but you already answered that by saying, you know, just get your flyers together. I tell people all the time to come by our office, they say, well, ain't nobody doing flyers. Everybody on social media. I said, no, the flyer companies, they send me junk mail to my house every week. They still in business. Every Wednesday we get junk mail. So they still in business. You just got to be willing to get them flyers in your hand and go introduce yourself to some new people and to find the old people too. So, man, hey, you hit it on the head, man. Let me ask you this, bro. You mentioned Dale earlier. How did y'all link up for that collab CD, Troublemakers, man? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. Me and Mr. Dale, man, that's the big homie, man. Like, right. To be honest with you, man, me and Dale, man, we got connected, man, by a girl who knew me.
Right.
She had got CD, and he reached out to me back in like in 2008 when I first got started.
Right.
And so, real, which I tell the story all the time. Like, I got on his project. I may have did like 2 songs with him, and like, man, he asked me one time to come to Florida, and man, he flew, and he wanted everybody else to drive, and I ain't like it. I ain't like it.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? I quit fooling with him. You feel me? Like for real.
Right.
I quit fooling with him. Like, I didn't get back up with Dale until 8 years later. You feel me? Like, I remember seeing him at a Holy Hip Hop show one time up in Atlanta. And man, we kind of just, you know, thumbs up, shook hands, and kept on mobbing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't rock with him like that because of that situation. Because, and I said this before, when the cloth I was from, if you drive, we all drive.
We all ride. Yes, sir.
If you fly, we all fly.
Yes, sir.
You feel? But at that time of my life, I didn't realize that he might have flew because he got to get back to preach somewhere. Mm-hmm. You understand where I'm coming from? I looked at it from a more immature standpoint. You understand where I'm coming from? I looked at it more from a street standpoint of the cloth I was cut from.
Right.
But, man, 8 years later, man, he reached out to me, man, probably about it, man, 2000 and, man, I want to say 13 or something, 14, 15, no, 15. Man, so that was like, 8 years later. And man, he was just like, man, I see your grind. He was just like, bro, if I can do anything to help you, man, like, man, I just want to be a blessing to you. I don't want nothing from you. He was like, I don't want nothing from you, bro. I don't want to sign you. He was like, bro, I just want to be a blessing. And man, homie just started taking me. Like, if he had a show and he could put me up,
but
he would be like, my show in Dallas, bro. Man, if you can make it, man, bro, I'm going to put you up. Plus, I'm going to give you $250.
Oh, that's
you know what I'm saying?
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, my dad ain't never asked me to go nowhere and then take care of me financially. Mm-hmm. You understand where I'm coming from? So that shows you the grind, the work ethic that a cat to sit back and say, man, bro, I respect you, bro.
Right.
I respect your grind. Like, I'm not gonna try to okie doke you. You understand where I'm coming from? So man, I did 2 tours with him. You know what I'm saying? We went Indiana, Miami. So when I was grinding, my fan base, where I would be booked at Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. But I always say that Dale is the reason God touched his heart to allow me to go places with him that would took me outside of my region.
Right.
So
right.
time I was in Florida or Dallas or Kentucky or anything like that, it really was with Dale. Right. And so, man, he was 100 and was like, look, bro, man, let's do a Troublemakers, man. Let's do a project. But really, we came up with the name together or whatever. Let's do a project together. And, you know, I was like, man, I was in the scripture, man, and I was reading about man, what book was that? I can't even think what book it was, but he was talking about the Troublemakers.
Right.
And man, it just hit me. I said, man, what's up, Troublemakers? You know what I'm saying? And man, we did the Troublemakers album, man, and you know what I'm saying, project, and man, it was history ever since. You feel me?
Man, when is Troublemakers 2 coming out, man?
Man, so, you know, they're retired. So
he ain't retired. So he ain't retired, man.
Yeah, his last project, but I might bring him out of retirement.
Man, he ain't gonna retire, man. We gonna have to get him up out of there, man. I saw that, and I said, I'm gonna go back to the Troublemaker. I said, Dale retired. I said, no, Dale got some more in him. He got some more. It's kind of like you see sports, and you see these cats on retire, and then they take like a year off, and then they get back in the game, staying for about 4 more years. They said, nah, I'm joking. You ain't gonna do too much. It's too much in them, man. It's too much.
Yeah, hey, I'll probably take him out, put him on a 45 jersey. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, he ain't gonna wear the 23. Give him the 45. Hey.
Yeah. Nah, he retired that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, I gotta, you know, he gotta come with another number. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, let me
that's my homie, man. That's my brother, man. That's my homie, man. So I always salute him, man. You know,
right.
Being one of the first to come out the South, man, to do what he's doing. And like, I don't care what nobody say. He was one of the, he is, that I know of, the first to come out the South and do what he did on the scale he did.
Right.
You know, and maybe been some other cats that did it before, but on the scale, you know, he's the first that I didn't research.
Right.
That then, you know what I'm saying? One of the first, you know, my homie Petty D too, he did his thing out of Florida.
Shout out to that boy Petty D.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man, that's the big homie, man. So we're gonna see what God do.
Yes, sir. That Troublemaker, man. Let me tell you, I bumped that thing, man. I said, man, that thing is yoking and smoking. That thing ready, man. Let me ask you this, bro. Now, the gospel rap game, I know you see it. I'm listening to you. I know you got your ears to the ground and your eyes on the field. What, from the time you came in to what you see right now, I'm talking about just it can be in Memphis, across the board, however you see it. Where do you see the game going? Gospel rap, the genre. Where you see it going? Good or bad, don't matter. It's you know, I've heard everything from, you know, the you see it too. You know, I can repeat it 50, 11 times. They say, hey, you know, you got the rappers out here saying they rappers, but they're not Christian rappers, but they're a rapper that's a Christian. And then I heard one cat, he said, gospel rappers corny, you know, and I hear all that stuff and I see it too. But where you see the genre going from 2020 on?
Man, you know, I think when I be 100, man, like, it's only gonna get worse.
Go ahead.
Because now the real ones gotta step up and play their part. But it's a lot of people that's coming in now and they just coming in for the lights, camera, and the action. You know, all the time, man. When I did my research on gospel rap, brother, gospel rap started out as a genre to go into the streets to push the gospel to the hip hop community.
Right.
That's what it was for. What happened was the Caucasian church saw it and said, oh, Nashville saw it and said, oh, our kids like rap. How would you feel if we paid you $2,500 to let you come rap at Bellevue and jump around with our kids? Right. And so what happened was the gospel rappers went from the streets and said, you got how much? You got $2,500 to do that? Oh, that's what I want to do. And so the whole shift from in the streets, in the community thing went to, man, I'm trying to get I'm trying to get me a real show with some lights and some smoke and some light change colors. You see what I'm saying? And so, and that was, you know, I'm not throwing stones at that, anything like that. But the part that I'm kind of looking at, I can see cats, not all, but a lot of cats not really giving the gospel anymore. We just trying to make something that can be like in the middle. So I don't really want you to call me a gospel rapper because I feel like it's gonna make me lose opportunities.
Go ahead.
So what I do is kind of be in the middle with some cool little music. But I'm telling you, I be telling cats all the time, you still gonna lose. Because at the end of the day, man, you in the middle. The person who really want to hear the gospel rap, he not gonna bring you. And the cat who over here in the worldly junk, he looking at you like, man, what are you? What are you doing? Like what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of those cats be the cats who be looking like they got something going on, but really, man, they at a desk job, they hate every day, and they trying to figure it out. So for me, when I think about where it's at right now, the real ones got to come on and step and keep repping the banner. Right. But then you got cats out here, man, that's only gonna keep wanting the worldly success. You know what I mean? Like the worldly success is that thing of I want everybody to like me. But Jesus, he said, man, Jesus already said, man, if you fool with me for real, man, the world gonna have a problem with you.
Already.
You know where I'm coming from? So a lot of cats then water down the situation so bad because they want everybody to like them. They don't want to say nothing that's going to offend anybody, which they don't realize that offending might help somebody.
Right.
But I don't want to rock no boat. I don't want to this and that. So I'm just going to make stuff that's just right in the middle. But so, man, just with social media, man, and now Christian rappers, man, want the same thing that the world get. You know what I'm saying? Like they want, a lot of people don't realize. I took about time with my cars, brother. I was doing a car thing back in the world for sure. But when I came over here, man, the car thing was still my bait.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, all my cars got wheels and stuff on them, and they wrapped and they whatever you want to say, but it's to get your attention. So the audience that I chase, the dope boys, the you know what I'm saying, the dice shooters, the hustlers.
Yes, sir.
That's how I get their attention. My audience ain't the little blonde hair, blue eye kid out there in the suburbs.
Right.
You understand what I'm coming from?
Go ahead, Mike.
Out of my whole 13 years, but I have only done three Caucasian churches my whole entire life. Right. And I knew that ain't my lane. You understand where I'm coming from? So I'm not trying to, if they bring me or book me and say, give them the gospel, that's fine. Right. But that's not who I cater to the lost young man who want a big house, he want a bunch of money, and he want cars. But a lot of Christian rappers now, not all, but a lot of them want the worldly success. They want to be on a big stage and they want people to glorify them and want them to shine the light on them. And I think that's the bad part that I see gospel rap going, where we going to lose the gospel part of it. Right, so now everybody being helped. Ain't nobody being helped. Everybody just jumping around, sweating, and now they going back, still looking at porn, still fornicating, still smoking and drinking and clubbing, and ain't nobody changed. Right. So I think one thing I told my homie today that I used to love about the old gospel rap is that you can tell it was gospel rap.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Even if you wanted to say it was whack, whatever you wanted to say, you knew he was a gospel rapper.
Already. Yo, talk about that, Mike. Yo.
You knew it. Now it's kind of like, man, you waiting for him to say Jesus or something. Like you got all this wordplay and these metaphors and and but I'm waiting for you to say something that's gonna catch my eye. And when you get done, I'm like, bro, I ain't
get nothing, Mike. I already,
you know,
yes, sir.
And so I think that's the part that's like ugly when we water down the situation so bad to where people ain't getting nothing from it. Know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
we trying to light, because we trying to get on big stages, because we trying to, man, that ain't never, man, been my motive. You know what I'm saying? If that was the case, man, I would have been trying to team up with some of these cats who was telling me to come on this way. And I ain't even gonna call no names, but I chose to stay over where I was at. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I chose, like, I resisted a lot of people that I know could have took me over to a whole nother lane. Right. But I just was like, nah, bro, I'm not trying to get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a God to give me a whole nother mission. And I believe that's why to this day, man, God had just been he had been so good to me, man. Right, you know what I'm saying? Folks who want to live like a rapper, I live like a rapper for real. Mm-hmm. Like I live off my music. My wife does not work. I live off my music for real. Right, and we ain't, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, for real. Like, and I believe that it came from obedience, bro, and hard work, bro. Sacrifice.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Hey, yeah. Man, you said so much, man. I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna unpack this thing, but you hit it on the head, man. That's why I said I know you see the game. I know you see it because you described it, you summed it up, you talked about it, and just the best way it can be explained, the best way. That's how I know you see it. I listen to the music now and I'm like, man, I'm hearing all these, you know, Buddy putting bars together, the dog, rat, pack, cat, scat, and then they might say God. And I'm like, okay, you ain't saying nothing, dog. You know, I see the same thing, I hear the same thing. I'm like, man, you know, it's like it's going somewhere. And I like what you hit on, the obedience part, the obedience part of gospel rap. And I think that's where a lot of cats stop. It's that obedience part when they told to do something. And one thing I tell people all the time, especially if you come on to the Lord's side, it ain't no cakewalk, it ain't no rose petals, it ain't no none of that. You might feel that in the first maybe month. After that, right. It's for show and it's for real. You know, going through things, and I tell people, you know, I've been kicked out of churches and talked about on radio stations and been there and done that, man, with gospel rap. But it's hearing you say that, man, and I hope for everybody who watching, especially the gospel rappers, that they listen to what you're saying and they take heed to what you're saying, and just if they thinking about getting out of gospel rap, that they listen to this podcast and say, okay, let me get back in the game. Let me get back on the Lord's side. Let me put my hand back on that plow and start plowing again. Let me get back in that studio. Let me get back in that work. Because a lot of them get frustrated. They quit. They stop. They ain't got the money. They say, forget this. And now I look on their social medias. They got drink in their hand. They in some club. Or they rapping about something that ain't got nothing to do with gospel rap. They rapping about something. And they got nothing to do with gospel rap, though. Let me ask you this, dog. Man, this good, man. This good. Last week we had... Go ahead, dog.
I would say too, man, your lifestyle play a big part.
Yes,
you know
sir.
What I mean? And God elevate your situation too. You know what I mean? I might not be able to see how solid you are with him, but he see
all day long.
And then you trying to figure out why everything just so ugly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that is, I didn't learn, man, that even through the struggle, when you really rock with God, he still give you a peace in the struggle.
Yes, sir.
Like you know that, like you know he's there.
Mm-hmm.
For cats who frustrated and really upset, a lot of times that be, bro, God ain't there. They lifestyle ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, they out here doing everything the world do, and they trying to justify it with grace and mercy and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But God, he didn't put you on a different he didn't put you on a different level for the people. So when the people look at you, they don't need to see that you trying to sleep with them after the show. You know what I'm saying? So then you would try to wonder why your situation ain't elevate. Why? Nah, it's you.
Right.
So it's it's obedience, and it is a lifestyle. Like, you gotta live right too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, And that's how a lot of cats fall by the wayside too. Like they ain't living right and they get upset at God because situation ain't popping. And it's like, nah, bro, what your lifestyle look like too though?
Right,
No,
right. See, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So now I was just saying, like, man, that's key as well, you know. I tip us our time. I remember I used to get interviewed, man. People ask me, man, what FRO stand for. We be trying to make up an acronym for FRO, man. He's, in the back of the Bible, trying to make an F word, an R word, an O word. People want to know what it meant. And I remember one night, man, it was so gangster, bro. My guy came to my bed, bro, and told me what FRO stood for. And FRO was an old hood name I had. I hated the name. First, I had all this hurt on my head. But, man, people just was like, I had the biggest FRO. But, man, I remember, bro, man, them folks getting at me like these little gospel DJs and stuff want to interview me and be like, what FRO stand for? And, man, God gave me the acronym, and that thing stood for Father Rewards Obedience.
Man, say that, man. Yes,
man,
sir.
Father Rewards Obedience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like, I think sometimes, bro, man, we be sleeping on, man, being obedient, the lifestyle, and the grind.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So I just, man, from what I have done through these years, bro, it's not normal. Know what I mean? Like, I'm not tooting my horn, but it's not the norm.
Right.
But it's right. I try to show people that when I talk with younger guys, I try to give them the formula. Right. It's really no blueprint. So I don't have a blueprint for you, but I do have a formula that's like, man, living right, obedience, what he tell you to do, and man, grind.
Yes, Lord.
You know, it move. Like you gotta move. Say move. You gotta move. You gotta grind. Not only that, you gotta resist the temptations of the world. And not only, man, you know what I'm saying? Man, you gotta be living right, man. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have some type of, man, integrity about what you're doing. You feel me? Yes, and so, man, I speak with them, brother, and I tell them, man, it's, for my situation, I only know my situation. My situation wasn't a fall out the sky. You know what I'm saying? Like I put my work in and still grinding right now. Right. We still pushing. This ain't no, FRO in retirement. Like, I'm still pushing.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I told my homie, man, like my last project, man, I put a video out for each song. I put a video out for each song. The first one, I put out 6 videos for 6 out of the 10 songs. You see what I'm saying? Like I've been and dropped 3 projects this year, and I'm really behind. You feel me? Like I'm supposed to have 4 projects dropped this year. You see what I'm saying? So I you know what I'm saying? Like fell behind. But it's like, dude, like that's how hard, and cats be just trying to get out one.
Right.
Like both cats just be trying to get out one project. You see what I'm saying? Like, man, dude, like we talk about, man, grind and be soaked in it, bro. My God, like, hey, what we doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I tell cats all the time, man. I'm talking about you hitting on it tonight, man. I tell cats all the time about the about the story about Noah building that boat. And it's like God told him, hey, Noah, he said, yeah, Lord. He said, some rain coming. Yeah, all right. Build this boat just like this. And God walked away just to see how he going to build that boat, if he going to be obedient in building that boat. And so I tell cats, gospel rap is the same thing. Listening to you, how I got into it, I was brushing my teeth, fresh out the shower, I heard do gospel rap. I'm like, I don't know what a gospel rap is. I don't know. And I was introduced to it 3 months later in the barbershop. Couldn't help. Partner of mine come by. He said, hey, man, you heard these dudes, Grape Tree Records, cat out of Chicago, Antonius, first gospel rap I ever heard. Look here, I had a cat in the chair, half a haircut on his head with the cape on. And I'm sitting in the car, bumping. I'm like, man, who is these dudes, man? Who is this? He said, man, take all the CDs calls. Somebody came by the school he was going to, popped the trunk. They just giving out free music all over the yard, free music. So he gave me 3 of them. So that was my introduction to it. But ever since then, it's like everything you saying, man, it's encouraging to hear. And especially it's encouraging to hear other cats out here that's still in it for the right reason. And I hope that cats watching this, that they get encouraged by everything you saying, because that's one of the reasons we built this podcast, man. It's not for me to get no pats on the back and I can walk through the streets and say, oh man, we got a podcast. No, it's really to help build a media side of gospel rap. Gospel rap need outlets to where cats can be heard and seen. And so, you know, we've been putting this thing together, and I hope cats that's listening and watching this, that they be encouraged by what they hear and by what they see. Let me ask you this, dog. What's next for FRO? Now, look here, I heard that snippet yesterday, man. That thing bumped. That thing ready to say, oh, Jesus. I said, uh-oh. I said, hey, I was in the studio yesterday listening to that thing, man. I said, yeah, man, I already know where that's going right there. He said, you smoking regular? I said, yeah, I already know where you finna go with this right here. Man, what's next for you, bro?
Man, pedal on the floor.
Yes, sir.
Like, man, like if I had my way, man, I'm trying to drop a street preacher every month. You understand where I'm coming from? So, man, if I had my way, if I come on with it, man, like it's like I told my homie, man, it's not the music no more.
Right.
The game is changed. You know what I'm saying? It's about consistency now.
Right.
You know what right. Like it's about like the music so fast now that man, listen to your prayer. You had the greatest project. Man, 2 weeks later, he like, what you got next?
Right, it's gone.
Like, bro, I just gave you a masterpiece.
Right.
You feel me? Like,
that's what it is.
But to be real with you,
yo,
guys, he said, if you don't want to become a dinosaur, you got to keep up with the times.
Yes, sir.
And so the times now is so fast.
Right.
Man, that you got to be willing to see right now, man. It's a young man game, really.
Right.
For a cat like to pick their phones up constantly. See, I'm considered OG. You know what I'm saying? Like we like, nah, bro. You don't be doing you don't be showing you don't be recording all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you show all that, but man, in the way the game is now, it's like, man, these folks want to see everything. Not only they want to see everything, man, they want to hear everything. And so when you say what's next for FRO, man, I'm talking about pedal on the floor, man. If I had my way like I need to be dropping a tape every 6 weeks and videos to go with every last song that you understand where I'm coming from. So at the end of 2021, man, I need to be able to sit back and say, at least, boy, I put out 10 projects. 10 projects, that's 100 songs. Man, that's 80 to 90 videos.
Yes, sir.
So talk about what's next for FRO. That's what's next for FRO. And so, man, I'm just, just trying to, and pray for me, brother, because sometimes, man, you know, I have to keep finding my why. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because sometimes you can feel like you in a lane by yourself sometimes. You feel me? You can be like, and why I'm doing all this. You know what I mean? It look like I'm showing off or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gotta, bro. But then really you got to. And so, man, I had to sit back and be like, nah, bro, you gotta do all this. You know what I'm saying? So the people need it. And like I say, with the times and the music right now, bro, it's so fast. All that one project a year stuff over with.
Oh, it's done for that. Yeah, it's done for that.
Yeah, man. If you gonna get relevant in the game, bro, you gonna push it, man. You gotta come on with it. So yeah, just pedal on the floor, man. Going hard.
I tell you what, bro, this was good, man. This was good, and I hope everybody who looking at the refill tonight, show number 15, man. Hey, this was good, man. One thing I love about now I'm learning the podcast space now. I tell people, they say, oh man, you get microphones and headphones. I said, man, I don't know all this stuff. I'm still learning. So I'm learning the podcast space. But what I love about talking to the gospel rappers, the DJs, the cats I already talked to, is getting into their head and so everybody can get a better understanding of what gospel rap is. You know what I'm saying? And I love talking to the cats who's in it for real. You see what I'm saying? Who in it 10 toes down. Like you say,
Yeah.
foot to the pedal. They ain't letting up all gas, no brakes, all that. And so I love talking to those cats who's in it for real, so they can say, okay. So folks that's watching, they can say, okay, it is something to this. And for the artists that's looking to stop, they say, no, I got some more women. I just better get back in the game. Look at like they say in football, get your butt back on the practice field and in the weight room and get back on the field. It's that simple, but you got to do the work. Man, let me ask you this, man. Before we get out of here, we give everybody what we call the Hog Award, the HOG. The Hog means Hall of Glory. We ain't passing out no flowers over here. We pass out the Hog Award, and what it is just to salute everything you doing in gospel rap, man. The grind, the add the muscle to your hustle, everything, man. Dealing with gospel rap. Like I say, I've been following you for a while. Ever since I got I forgot which one was give it to me again, bro. Only thing I remember is the mixtape that had the Good Times theme on it. You had that theme all the way throughout the mixtape, Good Times, all the way through it.
Nah, that was the Careless 2 album you talking, but you got to be talking about the Cornerstone album with the Forrest Gump.
I got that one, and I got the Careless. What's that? The Careless music. What's that 2?
Yeah, Careless 1, Careless 2.
Right.
But I got 12 projects, 10 projects. So yeah,
right.
so yeah. So I think with the Good Times, that's Careless 2.
Careless 2, right? That's the one. That's the one that took me to Atlanta. I'm driving in the middle of Mississippi somewhere. Pop that thing in. I say, man, this man right here, he gonna stay in this thing for a minute. He gonna be in here for a minute. I hear something it was different for me at that time. It was different. I got music all over the place, CDs. They be like, man, you a DJ? Nah, I just got the music like that. I go in the stores, I buy it, plant seeds and Cat Ministries and buy their music, albums, downloads, whatever. So let me ask you this, bro. Before we get off this thing, man, this was good, man. Before we get off this thing, man, any last thing you want to leave to the people that's watching it, man? Because we got to get you back on sooner than later, going into 2021.
Yeah, man. Man, for those that's about their life, man, like really, man, in it.
Right.
Man, just stay encouraged. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, push harder, sacrifice a little bit more. Man, be a lot more obedient. You know what I mean? Because I tell people all the time, man, when it's over with, it's over with.
Right.
Ain't no coming back. And the last thing you need is regrets. Right. Now you on the last days and you sitting back like, man, I wish I would have did this. Man, I wish I would have done that. Man, I wish I would have did this and that. And man, that's what you don't want. So man, this life here, I tell my wife and my kids all the time, man, it's the land of make-believe. It's not even real. You know what I mean? It's real, but it ain't real. Right. You know what I'm saying? When we leave here, that's what's really real. Right. Where you finna earn it, like that's what's really, we only here for a hot second. So while you here for a hot second, man, you gotta make the most out of this hot second. You know what I mean? Yes, and so if you about to keep life, man, you want to be able to say, man, you want to rack up them coins far as the kingdom go, far as, man, your stats go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like football can't be like, yeah, he retired with, man, 100,000 touchdowns or whatever it was. But you want to be able to leave here with your stats high.
Yes,
like,
sir.
Man, you took chances for the kingdom, man. Man, you roll hard for the kingdom. So I just want to encourage those, man, who doing gospel rap, man, to, man, like I say, man, be a little bit more obedient, risk a little bit more, man, take chances more, man, like, man, grind harder, you know? And so, man, you know, and man, watch God, man, do what he gonna do. You know, I'm not promising you no houses and cars and money, but what I am promising you, man, is, man, I'm promising you, man, a great feeling when you sleep at night, you know, and you knowing that God is pleased with you.
Yes, sir. Bro, one more thing. I know I say that's the last thing, but I see that God's will on your chest, man. Talk about that God's will for a quick hot minute, man.
Oh man, it's just the label, man.
Right.
Man, shout out to my homie DG, man. He been rocking with me. Man, I told him, man, you know, he doing his thing. man, you know, Gospel Records, man, you know what I mean? Like, man, you know, we just grateful for the position that God is saying, man, just to be able to do what we doing. So, man, you know, yeah, man, Gospel Records, man, you know, we pushing, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bro, I can't say nothing else, but, man, look here. 2021 coming, man. We went, listen, I'm not saying this because it's a podcast and you supposed to say this stuff on a podcast. Like I said, we ain't got no script up here. All I got is a couple of notes. And we ain't got no script. We ain't say we're gonna do this and go here and go there. But, man, we here at the Refill, man, we wish you nothing but the best going into 2021, man. And everybody, I know we got one more show tomorrow, and that's it for 2020. Yeah, we got one show tomorrow. We're supposed to have two, but it's supposed to be one tomorrow. Cat out of Philadelphia gonna be on tomorrow. And other than that, man, we're gonna get off this thing, man. We gotta get you back on sooner than later, man. I got some virtual stuff I'm gonna hit you up on. If you're down with it, let me know. And we'll just go from there, bro. But that's for everybody. We're gonna get off this thing, bro.
All right, brother.
Okay,
I appreciate it. I'll keep grinding, brother. You know what time it is.
Yes, sir. I already, bro. Appreciate that, dog. That's for everybody. And we back. We back again. We still learning these buttons up in here. Everybody looking like, hold on, we learned these buttons. Look here, man. That was another good show. Look, let me tell you something, man. I love talking to the artists, the DJs, the promoters, the influencers that understand, you know, why they do gospel rap. All the podcasts for the last 2 months, for the last 2.5 months, all of them been good. All of them been different. All of them been unique in their own way. I learned something from everybody. And by me trying to grow a podcast for y'all, you know what I'm saying, I'm learning too. It's encouraging me too when I listen to the grind from everybody, because I get it. Doing gospel rap since, 15, 16 years. That's a long time. You know what I'm saying? And people say, well, why do you do it? I say, because it's the Lord's work. You know, when he told me to do it, every year, he put something in my hand to say, okay, to let me know he's still here. And that's what we're doing with this podcast. We're growing the media side out. So the artists, the DJs, the promoters, the influencers can have an outlet to be heard and seen. Have we figured it out? We ain't figured it out yet. We still figuring it out. We still in grind mode. We still in get it mode. We still in learning mode, and that's a good thing. You're supposed to learn every day. You're supposed to study every day. I'm a big person that like to study. I study a lot, and a lot of it is textbook stuff. A lot of it is YouTube videos. A lot of it is videos. A lot of it is just sitting and shedding up and being quiet and talking to folks who are ahead in the game to me. So we still learning the podcast space, but we going into 2021. We have one more show tomorrow night. We got Minister coming in from Philadelphia. His rap name is, he is a minister. His name is The Minister, but he's in Philadelphia. He was in St. Louis. He moved to Philadelphia. We're going to talk about that in the next podcast. But, man, we're glad y'all tuned in, man, tonight. We're glad y'all took time out y'all day to check out what we're doing. We only getting bigger. We only getting better. We doing this for the Lord, man. And that's what it is. Everything we touch turn gold. So, yeah. Y'all tune in, man, for the next one. Tomorrow night is 6 o'clock. Let me hit these buttons. And if you won't listen, I gotta do this real quick. I gotta do what's called house cleaning. If you want to donate to the show, look in the comments and you will see the Cash App and the VENMO handle, $ Skyway Media. You can donate there. Any amount will do. What your donations do is help us grow. Listen, we all need money. So don't be saying, oh, here you go, asking for some money. Now, I'm going to ask for money because we all need it. We need money to pay bills. We need money to eat. We need money to put gas in our cars. We need money to pay mortgages, rents. Hey, I leased this whole office space up here. I got to pay these folks. They going to kick me out. But I have another business up here. But what you're donating to is to strictly the podcast, not this business up here. You donate to the podcast. And so we do need financial donations. And any amount would do. We don't care. Any amount would do. We not set up $100 line, $50 line, $1,000 line, $20 line. Any amount would do. If you feel on your heart to donate, donate. We have received donations. Anyone that donate, we will give you a shout out for donating to the show. Also, we have the website should be up hopefully next week. We won't be on next week, but it'll be up around Christmas time, around that time. The week of Christmas. We'll have the website up. All you gotta do is check back on my page. The YouTube channel is up. We do have the Instagram channel at The Refill Show. Everything is at The Refill. That's DA Refill Show. That's the handle for everything. And again, y'all come back tomorrow night. It's the last show of 2020. And then New Year's, we got something special coming up for New Year's Eve. That we hope y'all like, but we working, man. We figuring this thing out. We're glad y'all tuned in. Come back tomorrow night, same time, same page. And thanks for checking out The Refill. I'm your host, Ron Daniel. And we gone.